In a theatre, you need a certain, formula. Like this certain star would probably work. What will get your audience to the theatres? That's what your priority normally is. But on OTT, you get to play around. So I think that's wonderful.
This wonderful South actress, her name is Sai Pallavi, and so she had refused a 2 crore worth of a skin whitening ad.
It's important to be sensible. It's important that, make sure you're not doing any harm and you're not promoting the wrong thing. If you abuse a woman on the road, you will get, you'll probably get arrested. But then how can you abuse women on social media without any consequence, without getting caught? I feel action needs to be taken and accountability is very important. Hi, this is Ruhi Singh and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
We have with us lovely Ruhi Singh with her lovely answers. There are many more things that she is doing right now. We'll talk about that and a lot more. Pleasure having you back with us on Bollywood Hungama.
Pleasure is always mine, Faridoon. Trust me. And welcome to my house.
No, it's a lovely house. Congratulations. It's great to meet finally. In fact, we've had an in-person interview sometime in January this year.
Yeah.
But it's always, I think, better to have like an in-person interaction. Okay, so Ruhi, how's life been and what is it that you're doing currently?
Contrary to, the general opinion, 2021 has been pretty blessed for me. I've had 3 back-to-back releases. Bang Bang, Chakravyuh, Runaway Lugai. And Chakravyuh, Runaway Lugai being very special to me because I worked on them before the lockdown really, and they did really well. People have accepted me and I was very happy with the response, very grateful. Now I have a show releasing on Snapchat very soon. I'm an official Snap creator and it's a very interesting show because people will get to see a side of me that they've never seen before. I'm also doing a project that I can't really talk about at the moment, but it is again a very, very exciting project of my life. In fact, I shoot for it in October. So lots to come. And yes, it's been a good year so far.
It has been a fabulous year for you. There are so many new insights that are coming in as far as the entertainment business is concerned. Now, 2 of your shows, I think they were on Chakravyuh and Runaway Lugai, they were on MX Player from what I understand. So now it is interesting that different OTT platforms, they're having a very different audience altogether. And because of the fact that MX Player, I believe it's free. There are no subscription costs. Maybe because of that, but for whatever reasons, they have a massive following. They have a massive subscription base.
They do.
So that suddenly opens up a huge audience, which people are still not able to understand that what OTT is offering.
That's true. MX Player, in fact, when the shows released, I saw both my shows were the top shows and the most binge watched shows for 4 weeks straight. So that means a lot of people have watched it because we have a massive audience, lots of people watching MX Player. That was pretty life-changing for me, honestly. And I did not expect it, considering how we see some OTT platforms as superior and the others, we sometimes feel, acha, ye hai, wo hai. But we have always these top 2, 3 that we always talk about normally. But I realized, no, there's a lot of audience for, every platform out there.
I think it has been the case for a lot of actors that they are finding this phase of entire OTT revolution very, very fascinating because it has given them a new lease of life in more ways than one. Because many a times actors, they are depending on movies, and if the movie works, that is when they get more work. If it does not, because many a times there are factors like distribution and a lot of others, maybe proper promotions are not there, and it impacts their work adversely as well. But that is not the case with OTT.
Yeah.
So would you like to share some personal experiences? You had Bang Bang as well.
Yes.
So what has been your personal experience in terms of how the entire scene worked earlier and now what it is now?
I would say, Faridoon, times are changing and they are changing faster than we can actually imagine. Probably a year ago, 2 years ago, situation was different. But now, because of obviously the pandemic hit, people were at home, they watched a lot of OTT, so it became much bigger than what it was 2 years ago. So right now, there's a thin line. Theatres are opening back again, which is very good for the film industry because cinema will always be cinema. That big screen is the big screen. But OTT has opened doors where there were only walls. For actors, for DOPs, for directors, all technicians, for everybody. And for your creativity, for you to, you have a lot more freedom to play because you can make things on different subjects which probably won't work in the theatres. In a theatre, you need a certain, formula. like this certain star would probably work. What will get your audience to the theaters? That's what you know your priority normally is. But on OTT you get to play around. So I think that's wonderful for your creative juices to get flowing.
In one of our interviews, we had spoken about the comments that you read on your Instagram posts, and which is the most ridiculous maybe comment that you may have read, and you told me something about it. So what is that process of reading the comments on your posts, and how do you respond to them?
I don't read comments on my posts anymore.
Acha, okay.
So वो खत्म कर दिया है मैंने, because I've realized कि there is no point. I cannot be having a conversation. A lot of people are there just for attention. But what I'm most disgusted at, honestly, and it's not just about my personal account, it's about all women. I've seen so many successful women. I mean, I'm inspired by them. And I go and see their comment section, there are these people. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to say it, but honestly, she is doing really well. You should be happy for her. You should be proud of her. But rather, all you're doing there is, you know, probably objectifying her, saying a really derogatory sentence, like insulting a woman for no reason and leaving. You're making fake accounts, and that means, first of all, you're not coming from a sense of progress. You're not coming from a sense of productivity. All you're doing is hating on people for no reason. So a lot of people are doing it just for attention. And I realize that. But it is very sad to see that, you know, because after a point, especially in today's day and age, after the pandemic, we've all been through a lot. We don't know how our mental state is right now, you know. A lot of us are very sensitive. So you never know how that one comment, you know, like the butterfly effect, you don't know how it might lead to something major. It might lead to depression in people. And I think social media ethics is a subject that needs to be added in our curriculum. Because now we've come so far, you know, social media has taken over our life. So in schools, it's very important to teach you how to behave on social media. Although you're supposed to behave how you generally behave in life. But we don't know that, apparently. You know, if you abuse a woman on the road, you will get, you know, you'll probably get arrested. But then how can you abuse women on social media without any consequence, without getting caught? So I feel action needs to be taken, and accountability is very important.
So have you at any point of time felt like maybe hitting back or taking an action?
I have done that before. Earlier, I used to do that. I did contact the cybercrime department. I did, you know, report the person. And the funniest part was Faridun. From to dash whatever to Didi, I'm sorry. It took him 1 minute and one phone call. So I realized Bechara meant no harm. It's not someone who's actually hating on me. This is just a person who thinks mujhe kuch nahi hoga. Wow, I have this phone. Let me just, you know, have some fun. But वो आपका fun is on, you know, आप किस तरीके से आप ये you represent yourself, you represent your society, you represent your family. What are you doing? A lot of my foreigner friends also, you know, a lot of times when I tag them on posts, it's sad to see कि उनको बहुत on their photos they start getting very bad and insulting comments, and it's sad because then I'm ashamed of that. Of course. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, and so you started your journey in a way with obviously Miss India, that has been part of your life. That is the beginning of your life, but you did this documentary, Canadian documentary, A World Before Her. And that's when I think Madhur Bhandarkar noticed you and you got your first film, Calendar Girls. So what does World Before Her means to you now? Because I've seen it, I've seen that documentary, and it shows what are the difficulties women go through, girls go through, young girls go through in terms of living up to the certain standards that these beauty pageants they throw in front of them.
You know, honestly, a sport is not bad. It's about how you take it. You play basketball, you play cricket, you play football. There's always competition everywhere. There's always skill. There's always, you know, you can develop those skills, and the better you do, the more you will go ahead in it. So I would say the beauty pageants are in fact a great place for grooming, because the standard of beauty जो आप सोच रहे हो, what you think कि मैं ऐसी लगूंगी तो मैं जीतूंगी, that's not true. Everybody is beautiful, and even pageants are saying that. Nowadays we have lowered the height criteria also. Things are really changing. It's all about how confident you are, how prepared you are. Your general knowledge is very important. Of course, if you're going to represent the country on an international platform, you have to have your knowledge, you have to have that persona of being on stage. It's like any other sport. You just need to work at it. You have to make sure you develop your skills well, and you will have a great chance. Beauty standards कौन बनाता है? मुझे लगता है कि it's not pageants, it's people generally. आप social media पे चले जाओ. Again, if we come back to that, if you go and see my comments or any girl's comments, you will find a lot of very strange criticisms which are, not productive in any way. It's just, they're just insulting someone's skin color, insulting someone's body type, insulting someone's face. That is leading to depression in young girls, because they're like, oh, am I this? Like, you start seeing problems when there were none. And that's actually not happening because of anything else. It's actually happening because of a lot of social media, because now people have the access to say it. Like, there's so much negativity, and I think that needs to be controlled. Girls need to be encouraged since childhood. They need to be told that, listen, all of you are beautiful. We just have to be the best versions of ourselves and work on ourselves instead of competition. So I always say collaboration over competition, and that's the way to go.
जैसे आपने जिक्र किया कि you faced all these sorts of comments and other stuff that has happened. Over a period of time, I'm sure that you must have developed a thick skin, and you can take things, maybe you have a fine sense of humor, you can maybe take certain things in a funny way as well. But say there may be girls who may be idolizing you, they may be following you, and उनको लगता होगा कि हमारी भी skin जो है वो रूही की तरह होना चाहिए, या फिर हमारी like we should be looking like Ruhi, and there are people who are not happy with their body type, for example. What would you like to tell them, that why is it important for them not to starve themselves into certain body type, or maybe apply products just because of the fact that they want to have a certain skin type, because it may have disastrous impacts as well?
It is such a beautiful thing that you've actually just talked about. So first of all, Faridoon, we all must understand that original has value, a first copy doesn't. Always, never ever try to be try to be someone else. Always try to be the best version of yourself. Yes, it's great to be inspired. I always tell people, I always try that I say the right things on social media. I talk about fitness, I talk about skincare, I talk about healthy eating and all of that, mental health, physical health. But I can only inspire, and I can do that much. But eventually, we have to understand we are all individuals. We are all unique in our own ways. What makes us beautiful is our uniqueness. If there are 10 of one kind, there's nothing special about you. You are special. So I would just like to tell those girls that yes, please work on eating healthy. Please work on your physical fitness. Yes, go for it. Go for the stars. Read your newspapers. Try to get the whatever I am doing. If you pick the right things, get inspired. Add that in your daily routine, but do not try to be like someone else, because we all have body types. Secondly, about starving, this is so wrong. I used to have those issues at one point. How do you develop these body issues is because of the society. Again, there are people who's telling you got to be a certain height or a certain weight to be beautiful. There are other people telling you that. They are putting it in your brain. Fair, and I'm not going to say it, but the brand, there are whitening creams. Now, okay, things are changing. Everybody is changing names and all of that, and I hope they are changing formulas. But why is this being sold to people since the beginning? हमारे गाँव में वो creams और वो soaps सब उस तरीके से लोग बेच रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं ingrained in our system होता है. But I feel that it's high time we have to understand all color, skin, body type, everybody is equal and we are all beautiful.
So I spoke to this wonderful South actress, her name is Sai Pallavi, and so she had refused a 2 crore worth of skin whitening ad, and she gave her reasons why she did that, and a lot of people, they applauded her decision. Yeah. So do you feel that it is also the responsibility of stars that they should resist such sort of advertisements in the first place?
See, I would just say it's a personal call for everybody. As an actor, we play a lot of roles. Yeah. I didn't do it that time, but not majorly, because I've always been very vocal about these things somehow. But I would say it's just a personal call, really, because as actors, we play a lot of roles where we don't really agree with the roles, but it's a storyline, you're a part of it. But yes, when you're representing yourself as an individual and talking about a certain product, it's important to be sensible. It's important that, make sure you're not doing any harm and you're not promoting the wrong things. For example, if you're promoting a medicine which can create some kind of issues in people's bodies, I don't think you should do that. But that's my personal opinion.
All right, and तो रूही, मैं आपका कोई एक इंटरव्यू पढ़ रहा था, उसमें आपने कुछ जिक्र किया है कि आपको स्पेस का थोड़ा सा कुछ एक वो है कि स्पेस आपको प्रॉपर मिलनी चाहिए, and you've said that you can even go to Mars to maybe get your space or something.
I think ये confuse हो गया है जिससे भी वो इंटरव्यू जो था. मेरा मतलब था कि Yes, I do like my space too much, honestly, Faridoon. I've become such a loner and I really love it. Like, I love spending time with myself. I am my own best friend. I can sit for hours, watch TV, just chill on my own. How people, some people have this need to just go out and meet people and hang out with people. I do not. I love my own company. I love
And you sleep by
dusting.
10 p.m. apparently.
I sleep by 10 p.m. I really do. And because I'm a complete morning person, so I wake up in the morning, I have my own tea ritual, and I like to, read my paper and make phone calls. So I like to wake up early. But yeah, I do like my space a lot. But the interview was about, we were actually talking about space. So there was something called a one-way ticket to Mars.
Acha, okay. So, but I think they presented it differently.
पता नहीं क्या उन्होंने वहाँ लिखा, but मेरा मतलब था कि yeah, there was a, some draw, whatever happening. I had applied for it. I wanted to go to Mars. Yeah.
No, I think it's a great thing because to be one's own best friend, because that is something which is extremely important at times. वो भी boxes में काफी बार put कर दिया जाता है. जैसे आप you like to travel alone, I believe.
Yeah.
There are times when people tend to say कि यार आप अकेले कैसे चलेंगे भाई आपसे क्या मतलब पहली बात दूसरी बात ये है कि that I think it is said that the best traveling happens when you're doing it on your own because you don't have any compulsion कि आपको किसी और का आपको करना है कि parameters में कि हमें ये करना है हमें वो करना है and you can explore that much more. You can talk to locals and have a perspective about the entire traveling part. Why is it traveling important for you?
I think I get to explore a lot more when I'm alone. I don't like to be on other people's schedules. I want to decide. And there are things that I like doing that other people not necessarily enjoy. They like the actual sightseeing. I actually go and like to meet the locals. I like recently I'd gone to Ladakh.
Yes,
so I went to
Vipassana trip you had gone for.
Yes, the Vipassana trip. So those are the kind of things I like, meeting the locals and going to those local little spots that nobody knows about. Just spend days in silence. And another reason I love Ladakh was my phone off ho gaya tha us time. Like my SIM card didn't work there.
Wow.
So I was not in touch with people. And that is, for me, that was heaven. If I need to call you, I will. But yeah.
No, I'm sure that that's something which is extremely important as well. Okay, now in terms of consuming content, say on OTT platforms, what is it that you've been watching, say in the last 2 years, for example, and how has it changed your perspective about content?
I've been watching a lot of content, so the perspective is just that now I'm consuming a lot more than I used to. I've just finished Squid Games on Netflix, which is fantastic. I think you should totally watch it.
Okay.
I watched what is Snowpiercer. So these are Korean. It's a Korean show, Squid Games, and Snowpiercer is a Korean film, which is again fab. I've been watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So I've sort of been obsessed recently with the whole 1800s and 1920s and all of that, the culture then, the outfits. The 1950s, 60s is Mrs. Maisel. So that I watched Downton Abbey, which is again, 1800s and 90s. So I love my history.
Okay.
So it really, really fascinates me how people used to live. I wish there was a time machine. People like to go and see the future. I would like to go and see the past. And I really want to explore the 1700s and 1800s and the elaborate outfits and the corsets that they used to wear.
Okay, and what about all these Money Heist and Sex Education?
I have not watched Money Heist or Sex Education.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, I think you should.
I will. I've been, Money Heist is something which is everybody is going crazy about. Have you watched it? Is it?
I've watched all the seasons, yeah.
Really?
Even Sex Education is not what maybe people perceive from title.
Okay.
I think it's a fantastic show. It's like third season has just dropped in.
Okay.
It is amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I think you should definitely.
No, I'll check it out. I'm looking for a new show. I used to, so Beach Mein I was watching a lot of this, like Homeland and stuff.
Okay.
And now I've moved on to this, the historical, all of that. I've also seen The Crown 3 times. That's how much I really like the way they speak and all of that. So now I'll watch Sex Education.
It is. How has it impacted your views about say content right now, and has it impacted in any way whatsoever that there are many more things that you can do? I just spoke to Palak Mushal before coming for this interview. So I asked her that Masaba Gupta, she has come up with this series Masaba. And
Yeah.
So can we have something of the similar sort, maybe about say Palak, for example? And she said that something is being worked around my story. So does that fascinate you? Because जैसे आपने Snapchat का आपने बताया, so content is being reimagined in more ways than one. It is not being boxed into that ये film है, उसमें एक actress है, उसमें गाने हैं, वो सारी चीज़ें आप कर ही चुकी हैं, आप कर ही रही हैं. Even Runaway Lugai में भी आपका गाना था, ये सब चीज़ें भी थी.
Yeah.
So does that appeal to you? Is that something that is on your mind? You're already doing stuff which is different.
There is something coming up. You will know soon. Yes, content is being reimagined in ways we can't imagine, and there's something of the sort which is happening in my life as well.
Around your journey?
Maybe not. I'm not allowed to talk about it. But yes, it is something very different than anything I've ever done before. I never saw myself doing it, but here we are, 2021.
Okay, and what is it that you like to read? Do you read?
I do. So earlier I used to read only self-help books, a lot of them, how to become confident, how to be the best version of yourself, how to inspire, how to blah blah blah. And one day my mom stopped me and she said, Ruhi, please start reading some fiction for God's sake, because my mom is an ardent reader. She loves her novels, she loves her Sidney Sheldons and James Hadley Chase. I'm not interested in murder mysteries that much, so I started off with The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, and that changed my life. It was literally the first fiction book I've ever read. Also, it has a fantastical, like a fantasy element to it, which is very fascinating for me. Like, I love a little magic, the universe giving you science, etc. So yeah, so now I'm reading another Paulo Coelho's book.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Hi, this is Ruhi Singh and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.